Kale, tortellini, and Italian sausage soup. Ingredients include kale, fresh tortellini, chicken stock, heavy cream, onion, celery, garlic, and Italian sausage. Okay, friends, so I am making some sausage, kale, and tortellini soup. And I'm using some mild Italian sausage. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the sausage out of its casing so that I get the crumblies. There are some soups that actually will have you slice the sausage, but I am actually taking it out of its casing. So once it's out of its casing, I am breaking it up. I'm using my Pampered Chef mix and chop, and turn that down. I am just breaking it all up, and it is going to cook until it's completely done. But if you cook it slow, it will help render out more of the fat. Once this is completely browned all the way through and broken up, I'm going to remove it, and then I'm going to chop up and saute some onions, celery, and garlic. So now that my sausage is all cooked down, I'm going to pull it out and see how much grease is left or fat. If there's more than a tablespoon or so, then I'm going to strain some of it out. But it looks like this was some pretty lean sausage. And so it doesn't look like I'm going to have a lot left. And I need some fat to saute the, oh yeah, that's going to be a perfect amount. So now what I'm doing is I'm putting in one small onion, diced, yellow onion. And then I'm also adding in the top of a stalk of celery. So I just cut the top third off. And I like, when I'm making soups, I like putting in the celery leaves. See the leaves? Because they are totally edible. I don't know why we cut them off, but most people cut them off and don't use them. So we're going to, we're using them. So we're going to let this saute for just a couple of minutes. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit, put it on maybe like about medium. And then once this is sweated down, I'm going to add in my minced garlic and seasonings. So now I've got my, you can see things, it's cooked. It's getting softened up, it's cooked down. I'm going to add my garlic, which is about half of a tablespoon of minced garlic. Now, I'm a garlic fan. I love garlic. Not everybody does, and that's okay. And the next thing I'm going to do is add my my Italian sausage back in, and then I'm going to make like a little hole, because in here I have Italian seasoning, crushed black pepper, and garlic salt. And I want to bloom the seasonings. I'm just going to kind of mix those in the center, toast them up a little bit, and then go ahead and mix it all the way in. Now shortly after I mix this in, I'm going to add 4 cups of chicken broth. And I usually make chicken stock, but I didn't have any, so I just bought some low sodium chicken broth. And I buy the low sodium because that way I get to control the amount of seasoning. 32 ounces is 4 cups, so I'm just going to pour this in here. And I'm going to let it simmer for about 10 minutes. Once it has simmered and it's come back to a low boil and it's simmering, then I will add in the next onions. Okay, so this has been simmering for a little bit, and who knows what this is? Yes, this is the chili flake you get from the pizza parlor. A while back, last week, I actually broke my entire glass jar of chili flake, and it really upset me because I like to have just a little bit of spice in a lot of my food. Now this, the sausage that I used was a mild Italian sausage. If I had been using the spicy Italian sausage, I might not have added it in. So I put that little chili flake in there just to give it a little kick. Now, 1 cup of heavy cream. Now you can substitute half and half. You could even substitute evaporated milk. But the bottom line is you have to have something in there that you could probably even maybe put in like some cream cheese. Now that's a thought. You could probably put something like that in there. And here's the thing. I like my soups. Look how thick this is already. I mean, there is not much broth. So this is what I am going to do. I am going to add, well, first of all, I'm going to taste this. And then I'm going to possibly add a little water to this just to stretch it out, because I don't want it to be like a stew. I want it to be loose like a soup. So hold on. Okay, so I already added in 1 cup of water, and I'm gonna taste it. Well, that's got a really good flavor. So, ooh, got a little pepper flake in there. But I am gonna add a 2nd cup of water, just to kind of thin it out. And then I'm gonna add in the tortellini and the kale. So this is fresh tortellini. It is a spinach and 3 cheese combo. So putting that in, mixing that in, and now I'm putting about 2 heaping cups of fresh torn kale, washed and ready to go. Now you can substitute spinach or any other kind of greens. You can probably put collards in here, or just anything that you like. But I've gotten to where I like kale in my soup because it holds its shape. It doesn't get all mushy. So I'm gonna let this simmer for, I'm gonna say 5 minutes, and so to bring it up to a simmer is probably gonna take 3. So I'm setting my kitchen timer, and I'll be back. Okay, friends, it is ready. You can tell because the tortellini has started to open up a little bit, and I just turned it off. It's simmering a little bit. I want to get a little bit of everything in there, get some of that kale. Looks like there's a big piece there. And just a little more broth, because like I said, I'm a broth girl. So this is what I'm having for dinner. Okay, friends, so I am going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you a secret. Today is the day after Labor Day. In my book, the day after Labor Day starts fall. It's soup season. Even though it's 100 flippin' degrees outside, I wanted some soup. So this is my kale tortellini Italian sausage soup, and I'm having a little bit for dinner, and I've got a refreshing glass of water here with me. And I'm a big soup eater. I will post this recipe. This is an actual recipe that I did follow, but I tweaked it a little bit. And I'll also drop in the carb count for you, or the macros. Now, what I will say is this. Heavy cream could totally be substituted out with non-fat milk. It wouldn't give you as creamy of a texture, but you could use it. You could use the non-fat evaporated milk. It's a little more condensed. You could use half and half. And I firmly believe that you could put a little bit of maybe non-fat Greek yogurt in here, or maybe 4 ounces of non-fat cream cheese, or fat-free or reduced fat cream cheese like the Neufchâtel, and I think you'd get the same results. It would change the flavor just a tiny bit. It would have a little more of a tang to it, but I think it would be equally as good, and it would definitely cut the fat down. As far as the tortellini goes, you don't have to use a whole lot. You can put just a little bit in. And what I would say is this. If you're making this soup and you're not going to be able to eat it within a day or 2, I would pull out what you want to serve for the next day or for that evening, and put just enough tortellini in there. Par cook the rest of the tortellini, lay it out flat on parchment, let it completely dry, and then put it in a Ziploc baggie, and you can freeze it if you're going to freeze the rest of your soup. But don't freeze the pasta in the soup, because it just doesn't taste as good when it comes back out. It will be a little on the mushy side, and I would just as soon, so like when I freeze soups, I don't use pasta. And if I use rice, I use like a wild rice or a brown rice that doesn't soak up the moisture as much, because again, it will soak up all those luscious juices in the soup, and then it becomes like a one-pot meal. And again, if you're a soup lover like I am, then you're going to want it to be soup. So here we go. Hopefully it's cooled down enough since I've been talking. Let's see. Okay, that has a really good flavor. And adding in just the one little packet of the chili flake was just enough with the mild Italian sausage. If I had used the spicy Italian sausage, I would not have added the chili flake, because I don't like things to be too hot, but I do like a little bit of a kick. So here we go. Yep, the tortellini, by using the fresh tortellini, it was the perfect amount of time. I truly put it in at the very end. So it is not overcooked. It is not soft. It's got that al dente to the tooth texture or consistency. And now I need to get a little piece of my kale in here too. and the kale is chewy. If I if I had used the spinach, it would have still been good. The flavor would have been great. But spinach gets really soft really quick. Whereas the kale, I'm still chewing it. Excuse me. The kale again gives it that substance. So really great soup. This would be great with a nice, if you're not watching carbs, a nice salad and a big crusty piece of bread. You can use this as your full meal. You can use it in a smaller bowl as, you know, like an entree to go with, or before the meal. And some maybe kind of an Italian, like a chicken cacciatore or something like that would be really good too. So anyway, hope you enjoy. If you try this recipe, let me know. And bon appetit.